Hello. I just leave the chair here. Wonderful to see you. Thank you for coming.
Test.
My name is Julia, and I will talk to you about psychedelics today. So it will not be very experiential out of legality reasons. I don't invite you to.
I should be translating you to Croatian.
Okay,
so
wonderful. So I will
think
stop.
About me.
Yeah, perfect. Maybe you have to remind me in between again.
This is Julia, and she's happy to be here and have you all here.
But you can do it in Croatian, otherwise we do it the same way.
Ok. Julia će nam danas pričati o psihodelicima, ali to neće biti iskustveni doživljaj, nažalost, nego samo kroz priču.
Thank you. We'll find our way. Maybe first, because I'm curious, who of you, and I suppose many on this festival already have experience with psychedelics or any psychedelic substances. So are there people here who have already got to know any substance? Yeah, okay.
Ko ovdje već imao iskustva sa psihodelicima?
Thought so. So I wasn't sure how many are very familiar with psychedelics and not, so I prepared a few slides, but I always love when we interact, so I'm very happy for whatever questions you have.
Pripremljeno je nekoliko slajdova za one koji možda nemaju iskustva, ali vole da ovo predavanje bude interaktivno, tako da ako imate ikakva iskustva koje želite podijeliti ili pitanja.
And before we start with the slides, maybe I say a few words about myself. So I'm Julia. I'm originally German, so English is also not my native language.
Ovo je Julia koja je inače iz Njemačke, tako da engleski nije ni njen nativni jezik.
And like many others on this festival, I'm also working as a therapist. So I think we all work with people and transformation in people and in lives.
I Julia radi na ovom festivalu kao terapeut i zapravo svi radimo na transformaciji i I don't know what was the last
And my path brought me to psychedelics. So I'm originally a systemic therapist.
Ok, terapeut sistematskih...
No, it's a systemic. Constellations are part of systemics, but systemic is like the broader one, and you have specialties in more constellation, family constellation work.
Okay. Ali njezin put joj je doveo i do psihodelika.
And many other things, because curiosity always led me in life. So I did a lot of different courses and whatever you can do.
Znatiželja ju vodi kroz život, tako da je prošla razna iskustva, razne tečajeve i bila je posvuda i naučila svašta.
So what I do in my work is also, it is a big mix. So I work a lot with the body, I work a lot with substances, different ones, but also other tools from energetic work to whatever it is, because every individual is very different and we all need different things to be addressed in the right way.
Pošto smo svi različiti sa različitim problemima, njima treba pristupiti na različite načine, tako da ona radi i terapeutski, radi i sa supstancama i sa nekim drugim alatima iscijeljenja.
And in the last years I accompanied around 2,000 people with different substances. So I really dove into this field, and these beautiful people over there, 3 of the ladies, they have been with me for 3 years in a very, very intense program, a psychedelic therapy program.
Ove ovdje 3 divne dame.
And my husband, but he hasn't been with us.
I muž je ovdje, ali on nije išao tim putovanjem. Uglavnom, ove 3 divne dame sa Julijom putuju i rade ovo već godinama. Okay.
And it brought us to many different parts of the world. We could work with very different indigenous tribes, with their substances, with their medicines. They wouldn't call it substance, but medicines.
I ovaj put ih je odveo i do nekih nativnih plemena koji rade sa raznim medicinama. Oni to ne nazivaju supstance, već medicine.
And currently I'm also doing the PhD in psychedelic studies, so I try to combine the in-the-field knowledge and doing it, combined with like the academic background.
Trenutno radi doktorat upravo na toj temi psihodelika, tako da spaja i iskustvo i tradiciju, ali i znanost.
So my curiosity always brings me to different places in the world, and that's why I'm very grateful for, because it also brought me here.
Njezina znatiželja je to što ju vodi svijetom na različita mjesta, pa je tako dovela i ovdje k nama.
And I currently founded an institute with a colleague of mine. That's why the design is from Kula, because that's our psychedelic institute. And I'm just part of that with my colleagues, so we founded it, and we are starting a 2-year German-speaking course next year.
Ok. Kula, što vidite ovdje. Sa svojim kolegom radi na tom projektu.
It's a 2-year, it's in German, so it doesn't matter, it's just the design. Okay. I was not able to change it for today, so I took it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just the design is from that project,
yeah.
So
but
we will not understand what it's about, but it's on the slide.
But the slides are then in English, so it's just the design. Yeah, so I thought maybe it's interesting for a few of you at least to get to know a bit more about psychedelics and psychedelic substances, because it is a broad umbrella term.
Ok, to je širok jedan pojam zapravo psihodelici, tako da sada će ih malo približiti. To je cijela lepeza zapravo.
So there are many different therapies and possibilities to work on yourself, and I think we all have the same goal. So there are many routes, how do you say in English, mainly routes that go to Rome. At least that's what we say in German.
Svi imamo nekako isti cilj, a svi putevi vode do Rima, i svako će naći neki svoj put.
And I think psychedelic substances or medicines, however you want to call it, is just one way to find yourself again, or to find yourself for the first time.
Supstance, odnosno medicina, su samo jedan od načina koji nam može pomoći da nađemo sebe.
And what many others before me in the lectures already talked about is this inner being, this self that we have, to find that again, to accept what we are, that we are connected with everything, that we are God, that we are nature.
Mnogi su već do sad na predavanjima pričali o toj našoj suštini, što mi zapravo jesmo, da smo dio prirode i svega.
And that like all the patterns, ideas about ourselves and the things we learned from the very beginning, it's like a coat that we are wearing and that we want to get rid of again, to really find the inner being that we have and that we are.
I zapravo sve što su nas naučili o tome tko smo i što smo, na neki način je kaput koji trebamo skinuti da bi se vratili opet u onu svoju suštinu, tko smo mi zapravo.
So why do people come to me or come to psychedelics in general? So oftentimes people are stuck in life. May that be in the job, in a relationship, in the situation they are in.
Ljudi su često zapeli u životu, u poslu, u svojim odnosima, i to je jedan od razloga zašto radimo to na ovaj način.
Sometimes there are people who suffered some, for example, depression, and they are officially healthy, like the health system, which is not really a health system, if we are honest, but they are healthy, but they don't feel like it.
Postoje ljudi koji su prema interpretacijama sustava zdravi, ali se tako ne osjećaju, kao na primjer ljudi koji imaju depresiju.
And I would say, especially like in the German-speaking countries, people are very heady. We are very heady.
What's heady? In your head?
You're in your mind. You're very much in your mind.
U Njemačkoj, a pogotovo i u drugim dijelovima svijeta, naravno ljudi danas su jako puno u svojoj glavi.
And then maybe they have a moment in their life where they realize there is something else, but I really can't access it or I can't grab it what it is.
I onda se dogodi taj trenutak u životu kad shvatimo, wow, postoji još nešto, ali zapravo ne mogu dokučiti šta to je.
So there's this urge for more spirituality in life, but they don't know how to access it.
Žudimo za više duhovnosti, ali ne znamo kako doći do nje.
Or people had traumatic experiences that they can't access or they already worked with, but they didn't find the right solution maybe yet to really get over it.
Ili su imali neka traumatska iskustva i jednostavno nisu još pronašli način da prođu kroz njih, da ih iscijele.
And not getting over it in a sense of forgetting it, but you never forget it, but you have to live your life and to relearn how to live your life even though this trauma memory is there.
I nije cilj zaboraviti to što god da se dogodilo, već naučiti živjeti s tim, sa tom traumom.
And there are people oftentimes with addiction. So I work a lot on retreats, and depending also on the medicine that is served, for example, ayahuasca or psilocybin or especially iboga, there are substances that are attracting a lot of people with addictions, mainly drug addictions or alcohol or other addictions.
Ayahuasca i boga kao i psilocibinske gljive zapravo privlače jako puno ljudi koji imaju problema sa ovisnošću.
So oftentimes this is for people a good start, and like we heard yesterday as well with Frank Kinslow, like we are not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not the one who's doing it, but I create a space where the system itself of the person can heal.
Kao što je Frank jučer rekao, nije on taj koji iscijeljuje, on samo kao i Julia stvori prostor gdje se iscijeljenje može dogoditi.
And especially like psychedelics can help. It's not the tool for everybody. It's not always the right thing, but it is oftentimes for the people the last chance, because they feel they have done so much and they still suffer. So then they try it, and oftentimes it helps, sometimes not.
Psihodelici su isto samo jedan alat, nisu za svakoga, ali često kad ljudi dođu do kraja, kao probali su sve, i ovo ostane jedna zadnja stvar s kojom si da šansu.
And I will talk a bit later more about the different substances, but in general, what happens when we take psychedelics, it's on many levels that things can change.
Kada uzmemo psihodelike, stvari se mogu promijeniti na više razina.
So I'm not very scientific. You can read all this in the internet. There are many articles about how it works on the brain and everything, on detail.
Nije previše znanstveno orijentirana, tako da možete na internetu naći sve detalje o tome kako djeluje i utječe na mozak.
So I won't bore you with chemical and biochemical chemistry now.
Neće vam dosađivati sa kemijom, biokemijom.
But one thing that is oftentimes there is a new connectivity in the brain. There are parts of the brain that never have been connected before, and by taking it, there's a connection. So it gives us new chances.
Ali ono što se događa su zapravo nove neuronske veze u našem mozgu.
And neuroplasticity is nearly always there, but it is enhanced with different substances.
Neuroplastičnost zapravo uvijek je prisutna kod nas, ali supstance ju mogu još više pojačati, intenzivirati.
And looking at our mental mind, we grow up with different ideas that are or imprinted from the outside on us, or that we found this is a good idea to believe that. And by taking some substances, it can help to really zoom out and check in if that is really an idea that I want to hold on to. Is it really still serving me in my life?
I dok odrastamo, jako puno ideja nam bude nametnuto ili ih mi sami prihvatimo, i onda dok uzmemo psihodelike, na neki način dobijemo drugu perspektivu i možemo vidjeti jesu li te ideje nešto što je zapravo moje i što mi služi.
And it also can help with creativity, though there are more people taking also lower doses of substances to enhance creativity, to learn new ways of doing things.
Isto tako, jako puno ljudi koristi male količine supstanci kako bi potaknulo kreativnost.
And also on the emotional level. So looking at an emotional level, as we all know, the body keeps the score. So we store everything in our body, all the experiences that we have, emotions, mental ideas, it's all stored somewhere. That's why we have some aches somewhere sometimes.
Sva iskustva koja imamo zapravo su negdje uskladištena u memorija o njima u našem tijelu.
So the journeys that I accompany for people oftentimes have a very somatic part. So really the body is doing its thing and is shaking off things, or it's just movement, and the body knows what to do to get rid of things that are stuck in the body, which is oftentimes emotional stuff.
Tako da se na ovakvim tretmanima često dogodi da tijelo uđe u trešenje ili neke druge reakcije, jer tijelo samo zapravo zna kako se osloboditi stresa.
But it also gives us oftentimes more empathy for ourselves, because, as you might know, we are the hardest, like, critique to ourselves. So to everybody else, we can be very empathetic and we can be very nice, but to ourselves, we talk in the hardest way.
I psihodelici nas zapravo uče kako da se odnosimo prema samima sebi, da budemo mekši, da si otpuštamo stvari, drugima ćemo oprostiti, ali prema sebi smo najgori.
So there's more and more self-love that can be also activated.
Tako da aktivira ljubav prema sebi i suosjećanje prema sebi.
And as I said before, like, also there is a spiritual side. So oftentimes with these journeys, people want to process something, but there's something else coming in the journey. It's, yeah. Before I go on.
Okay. What happens in these experiences, the ceremony? Do you call them ceremonies? Oh, yeah.
I call them journeys or, yeah, experiences. I can speak in German if that helps.
It's fine for us, but poor people on the live stream. Okay, now repeat again so I can do in Croatian this time.
Okay. So there's oftentimes a big spiritual side of these experiences as well, as I said before.
Ova iskustva često imaju vrlo intenzivnu i jako duhovnu stranu.
And setting intentions is always a part of going into this kind of journeys.
I postavljanje namjere je ono što je isto tako dio ovih putovanja.
But oftentimes it's surprising what comes up in these journeys, but sometimes doesn't have anything to do with the intention we went into.
I vrlo često na tim putovanjima pronađemo stvari koje nemaju nikakve veze s našom intencijom.
Because oftentimes we do our intentions, we create them with our mind, and our mind just can go as far as our mind can go, but the substances, they take you and they bring you wherever you need to be.
Jer naše namjere često dolaze iz glave, a glava ne može zapravo znati sve što je ispod, tako da nas psihodelici odvedu još dublje.
And sometimes it can be a very, very expansive spiritual experience. Sometimes you go to other planets, to other worlds, you see other beings, you're connected with whatever is there.
To može biti jako ekspanzivno iskustvo. Ponekad nas može odvesti na druge planete, gdje poznajemo neka druga bića.
And also this kind of connectedness, being connected to nature, you feel that you are the tree. There is no distance anymore. There is no barrier.
I uče nas povezanosti sa prirodom, na primjer. Ono što se osjeti je da nema nikakve razlike između nas i prirode oko nas.
And then it's just important to follow that and to go there wherever the medicine takes you, because otherwise you will struggle.
I najvažnije je zapravo prepustiti se da nas ta medicina vodi gdje god želi, jer svaki otpor je uzaludan.
And I think a big part, especially for very heady people, is to believe that the substance or the medicines, they will bring you what you need and what you really can digest.
I ljudi vjeruju da nam medicina zaista daje ono što nam stvarno treba i ono što možemo u trenutku podnijeti.
And I think with everything else there comes like contraindications or risks or challenges, so fear, loss of control, overwhelm, which is especially hard for very heady people who want to control, like the Germans.
Kao i sve, tako postoje i nuspojave kod ovoga, kao na primjer razni otpori i teška iskustva koje se mogu događati kod krutih ljudi, pogotovo Njemaca.
And there are, of course, other contraindications, like mentally or physically, why you shouldn't engage with different substances.
Postoji kontraindikacije zbog kojih zapravo ne bi trebali uzimati takve supstance.
And there is another part that is very important, that's the integration. So yeah, like you prepare for this, so you go to somebody who can guide you, or it's a retreat or an individual session or whatever you go to, and you go there with an intention, you want to solve something, you have a question, whatever that is.
Kada odete na takvo jedno iskustvo, jako je važna integracija.
And then you do your journey and you will have insights, you have new knowledge, there will be new connections in your brain, there will be aha moments.
Znači odete na takvo iskustvo i događaju se promjene u vašem mozgu, dolaze spoznaje, znanja.
And then it's a question of how do I integrate that in my life? So what's the deal with changing my life?
I onda je pitanje kako to integrirati u život i kako promijeniti svoj život.
And that's the reason I think why we all do things and go into therapy or courses or meditation or whatever it is. It's always an urge to make the life that you live better, whatever that means for you.
I upravo to je cilj, da učinimo ovaj život boljim za sebe. Zato idemo i na sve terapije, zato smo i ovdje.
And there are many different ways to work with different substances or psychedelics or medicines. And I intentionally use different words for that.
Postoji više načina za rad sa psihodelicima, medicinom.
Because it also depends on which setting, and so in which setting you take them. Do you go into a more clinical, therapeutical setting?
Pitanje u kakvom ambijentu zapravo ulazite u to iskustvo, možda u nekom više kliničkom, znanstvenom
Where there's a lot of, where there's a lot of research done, for example.
Gdje se radi puno istraživanja, na primjer.
And it's based oftentimes or connected to diagnostic systems.
I često je povezano sa probavnim sustavom.
Like the diagnosis?
Yeah. Dijagnoze.
And luckily, science is moving a lot at the moment. So there's more and more research to be done and is currently done.
Na svu sreću sve više se radi takvih istraživanja u znanosti trenutno.
So in different countries, more and more the use in different or from different substances is becoming more legal in different settings, like with being with a doctor, being in a clinic.
Tako da u puno zemalja zapravo cijela ova priča postaje legalna u određenim settingsima, znači sa doktorom. Što je bilo? Da. Oh my God. Tako da postaje u puno zemalja legalno.
Yeah. Igor said I said half an hour, so maybe 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes. So this is also very psychedelic. You prepare for something and something else is coming.
To je isto dosta psihodelično. Pripremite se za nešto i onda dođe nešto drugo.
So actually I'm very used to that, and I think that's why I really love this. I wouldn't call it job, but it's my purpose to guide people, to serve people. And for me it's always a surprise what is coming. Whatever we prepare, there's something else coming for sure.
Uživao u ovome jer zapravo često se događa to da pripremimo se za jedno i onda se dogodi nešto potpuno drugačije. I često se susreće sa tim u radu sa svojim klijentima.
And I think this always helped me to be more flexible in my life.
I to je zapravo pomaže da bude fleksibilno u životu.
So this is just an overview, and it's for sure not extinct in how you can use psychedelics, medicines, however you want to engage. If you want to go into the jungle, if you want to go into a clinic, if you want to do a research project, whatever it is, there are many, many ways, and we will, in the future, we will learn more and more about how they can be used and how much they should be more legal than other substances that a lot of people use in this world. And that integration, as I said, is crucial. It's not about only psychedelics where integration is crucial.
Integracija je ključna i ne samo kod psihodelika.
But I think with everything else that you can do, is it a massage that really brings something up? Is it quantum entrainment that brings something up?
I misle da je to važno u svemu, bilo da je to masaža koja podigne neki proces ili seansa kod u quantum entanglement.
Like Frank Kinslow, what he was talking about. So I think there are many things that will bring things up in our life that we then have to integrate, and when we are open for the change and how we want to bring that into our life, that's important.
I u životu će stalno nam nešto dizati stvari, onda je pitanje kako se s tim nositi, to nastavi dalje zapravo.
So that integration in the end becomes a lifestyle. So you're constantly changing. And our life is change, but being more easy with what is changing and being more precise and how can I maybe help steering it the way that it supports me. Sorry.
Zapravo, integracija čini put kroz cijeli život puno lakšim, jer što god da dođe, nekako znamo plesati sa tim. Dobro.
Okay. I will leave it here. I can put it into the chat if you want to have it, and you can read it through if you want it. And otherwise, thank you very much. I don't know if we have like 3 minutes for 1 or 2 questions.
I think that would be nice.
So if you have questions, I'm happy.
Pitanja?
Yes. So did you all understand it? No. So she has a colleague, a friend, who went to an ayahuasca experience for 3 nights and felt good and was heart-opening, but like a week later it felt like a psychotic breakdown. Yes or no? And 7 months later it is still like struggling. So 17 months. Okay. Yeah.
Ima prijateljicu koja je bila na ayahuasca ceremoniji 3 noći, intenzivan retreat, i sve je bilo prekrasno, i onda je otišla doma i imala je psihički slom i sad 17 mjeseci kasnije još uvijek nije dobro.
Hard to say from here, so I don't know her. But that is something that I experience quite often because the integration is not enough afterwards. So we go to especially ayahuasca because it's not that much in their culture. So sometimes it is like we're going into another culture where the integration is done in the community, but we are very individual. And we need more support in the integration when we go into these spaces that is not our culture and that is not our cosmology.
Dakle, kultura iz koje dolazi, recimo ayahuasca, kod njih je drugačije, kod njih integracija nije toliko potrebna jer oni imaju community, oni integriraju svoja iskustva unutar zajednice u kojoj jesu, dok nama treba drugačija integracija jer živimo drugačijim stilom života. I takva se iskustva mogu događati ako integracija nije odrađena adekvatno.
And luckily, there are more people like me, like doing integration. So I'm also offering integration sessions for people that I haven't been with on the journey. But there is a website, psychedelicsintegration.com. There are a lot of colleagues in different languages and different backgrounds. Maybe you can check on that and see if there's somebody serving her, him. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think I will leave it here. So if you have any questions in person, reach out to me. I'm very happy to talk about all this. I think it was a very, very short, brief thing I could give here, but I hope if you're interested, just reach out and I leave the space for the next one. So thank you very much.
Thank you.